Hello, everyone. I hope you all had a good week. And for all the mothers out there, I hope you enjoyed your Mother's Day. And it's not just biological mothers, it's aunts and grandmothers and stepmothers and spiritual mothers. If you're mentoring in a mothering way, I hope you had a happy Mother's Day as well. I had a nice, quiet Mother's Day. I started my morning out with my usual prayer and meditation and my devotion time. And then I went to Unity Church for the service, which was very pleasant. And then after, I enjoyed a little brunch. And then I came back and relaxed. But during my morning ritual, I was reflecting on my mother, my grandmother, who was a very big part of my life. And I recalled a story that she had told me. My grandmother lost her husband. He was 47 years old, and she was left with three children. Her oldest, who I am proudly named after, uh, died a year after my grandmother lost her husband at the age of 13. And my grandfather was a funeral director along with my father, but my father was only 9 when his father died. So my grandmother, with hired help and a lot of faith, kept the business running. But she shared a story with me, and it truly reflected the faith that she had, which her faith was great. But she said that she would sit on her front porch and she'd listen to the neighbor. He was very abusive to his wife, verbally. I don't know if it was physical as well, but she could hear him. And she thought to herself, why would God take my good man and leave that SOB behind? And she said to me, Mary, someday it'll all make sense to us. And then in her jovial way, she said, and if it doesn't, he's got a great sense of humor. So, but the point is that her faith was that strong. She really hung on to that. And there were times in my life that I would say, her blood is running through my veins. You know, we talk about ancestors and dysfunction and traumas that are carried in from ancestral chains and how we need to heal. Well, what about the positive things that come in from the ancestral chain? And I really hold a lot of my faith, the values I have, from my grandmother, because they were passed to my father and carried on. And so I really would like to expand a little bit on faith and what does faith really look like. I really, it's a personal, individual experience for all of us, and our faith changes and evolves just as we do. um, I remember back when I was a mess, not loving myself, not knowing who I was. I always had faith in God, but not faith in myself. But God had faith in me, no matter what, no matter what. But like I said, it's a personal thing and it evolves and it changes. And, we talk about how faith and fear cannot coexist. So we all know what fear is. So we have to define what that faith is, because how do we know that we're stepping out of something if we don't truly know what it is? Faith can't be seen. And I have a parable I really would like to read. It's 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 a modern day parable about two babies talking in the womb, and when I said faith can't be seen, it brings up the 2 Corinthians 5:7, which is one of my favorite verses. Well, I have a lot of them. For we live by faith, not by sight. So here's the parable. In a woman's womb were 2 babies. One asked the other, do you believe in life after delivery? The other replied, why, of course. There has to be something after delivery. Maybe we are here to prepare ourselves for what we will be later. Nonsense, said the first one. There is no life after delivery. What kind of world, what kind of life would that be? The second said, I don't know, but there will be more light than in here. Maybe we will walk with our legs and eat with our mouths. Maybe we will have other senses that we can't understand now. The first replied, that is absurd. Walking is impossible, and eating with our mouths ridiculous. The umbilical cord supplies nutrition and everything we need, but the umbilical cord is so short. Life after delivery is to be logically excluded. The second insisted, well, I think there's something, and maybe it's different than it is here. Maybe we won't need this physical cord anymore. The first replied, nonsense. And moreover, if there is life, then why has no one ever come back from there? Delivery is the end of life. And in the after delivery, there is nothing but darkness, silence, and oblivion. It takes us nowhere. Well, I don't know, said the second one, but certainly we will meet Mother, and she will take care of us. The first replied, Mother? You actually believe in Mother? That's laughable. If Mother exists, then where is she now? The second said, she is all around us. We are surrounded by her. We are of her. It is in her that we live. Without her, this world would not and could not exist. The first said, well, I don't see her, so it is only logical that she doesn't exist. To which the second replied, sometimes when you're in the silence, you focus and you really listen, you can perceive her presence and you can hear her loving voice calling down from above. Isn't that a beautiful way to explain faith, having faith in God? I wanted to stop just to say hello to everybody because I didn't have the chat on when I first got on, and I apologize. Let me just see who is here. Kim, hello. Melissa, hello. And Richard, I'm so happy that you're here. Thank you. So I love that little parable. I've heard it before, and I was reminded of it this weekend. And it really is what faith is about in a nutshell. We go into the silence, we connect with the energy, and we can feel the presence of our divine creator, universe, source, whatever it is that you choose to call your higher power. I choose to call God. And it's by walking in that faith on a daily basis that gives us the ability to maneuver in this world. You know, we all have heard that we are spiritual beings having a human experience. So it's so important that we stay connected to that spiritual source and grounded in that faith. And it's like a tree deeply rooted in the storm. If you're deeply rooted in that faith, then you can weather the storm. It's when you're not in faith of whatever that looks like you for you personally that we get lost. that we get tossed up in the winds of the storm of this human experience. Okay, thank you, Tiffany. She said that was beautiful. Thanks for sharing that. So it's, you know, but our humanness and how we've been raised, that's what it does. It just brings us to the human side. We're so programmed to, get the education, go get the job, make the money, have the big house, have the car. It's all about outside of us instead of what goes on within us. And it's really what's within us that is so important. And especially now, because we are leveling up. The ascension's happening. Whether you are feeling it yet or not, it's happening. And so you better get on. You better get on board the faith train, because that is how we're going to survive this. It is really how we're going to weather the storm. So to go back to that, getting in the silence and centering ourselves in that faith and having that inner peace, even when the chaos is going on around us. It's like, it, the ocean, the surface is all rough and choppy. But when you go down deep, it's stillness, it is peacefulness, it is silence. And it's where I love to be. I really do my best to spend most of my time there, but I do live in this world. Kim says, true, grew up, got married, was supposed to live happily ever after. Thanks, Disney, for that tale. Isn't that the truth? Yeah. When you're a little girl, you dream about those things. You dream about getting married, having well, in my day, I don't know how old you are, Kim, but it was like the white picket fence, Donna Reed scenario, your good little cook the meals, take care of the kids kind of housewifey thing. And there is no such thing, because when we're brought up to believe that all of the happiness comes outside of ourselves, well, that right there, we're lost. I talk a lot about that with counseling clients, because it's really truly the first thing we have to do is connect to ourselves, find ourselves, know who we are. I mean, I was in my 30s, and it was like I woke up one day and I was like, who am I and how did I get here? It was like I had all these plans when I was younger, and then I ended up in an industry, had a great career, and then I was married to a man that I was like, and who the heck is he? So it really started to shift, because it was like a surface happiness. What I didn't even know what made me happy, who I was, what my passions were. So I had to unlearn everything. And it's like, people that have addictions and they go into rehabs, um, they always say you have to change people, places, and things. Well, that's yourself, number one, but you do have to change people, places, and things. Hi, Ruth. Glad you can join us. Um, so for me, after my son was older and out of high school, I upped and left my home state of New Jersey, for several reasons, but I realize now that I needed to do that to be able to fully become me and have the freedom. And every time I'd go back to visit, I would talk about things, and my family always looked at me like the young girl I was, making the same mistakes. And it took a long time before I didn't get my buttons pushed, number one. And number two, to really let my light shine so they could see the difference in me and see the awakening that was happening and how strong my faith was growing. And I have another story to share about my dad. My dad was a large and in charge man, and like I said, he was a Catholic. He had very strong faith, very devotional, very good man. Funeral director, helped many people. I did not realize the magnitude of things my father did for other people until his funeral, and complete strangers were coming up to me and saying that if it wasn't for your father, I wouldn't be where I am today. So that blew me away. But my father ended up with Parkinson's, and if you know anything about Parkinson's, that takes your life slowly, bit by bit, and it's painful to watch. So I returned to New Jersey from Florida to help care for my father. I moved in. My mom was starting with Alzheimer's, so they both needed care. So I moved in with them, and after getting my father ready, one day he was sitting in the chair and he said, "God's mad at me. I don't know why he's mad at me." And I turned around and I said, "What did you say?" He said, "God's mad at me." And I said, "You get your Catholic BS out of your head right now, because God isn't a punishing God, he's a loving God. And your reason for still being here, and your challenges that you're going through, and the suffering that you're experiencing, people around you are learning from you, learning from your strength." And he just looked at me and he said, like, he was like, wow. Like, he couldn't understand that I really got it. I really got what life was really about. And it wasn't about always having enjoyment and pleasure. It was also about lessons and growth, and not just our own personal lessons and growths, but being those spiritual parents, the spiritual mother and father to others, and showing them what faith truly is. Kim, thank you for the donation. I truly appreciate it. If you want a message, I will get you a message before the show is over. Just let me know. I do appreciate donations. They help to keep the show going. They help to keep me going, and they are greatly appreciated. So to get back to the faith, so that's really, if you don't have faith, what do you have? Because please listen to what Mary is sharing. She may not get messages later. Thank you. Yeah, she's Destiny asked for a read. I'm going to do my best to get to that. But I really want to share this about faith, because it is the foundation for our lives. And, I do have gifts, and I do give messages. I do readings. My primary focus is on spiritual counseling. I am the minister. I do have the education in spiritual counseling, continuing education in Christian spiritual counseling, grief counseling. So it's important that I get the messages out there that I am guided to give. And today it is about faith, because that is the beginning foundation of everything else in life. And like I said earlier, if you don't have that faith, you end up just blown around and being confused. And if what's going on in this world presently isn't proof of that, I don't know what is. It's very upsetting, but all is in divine order. Again, that's faith. And like I was saying, it's about the challenges, it's about the lessons that are being presented. It's whether we choose to go down that rabbit hole of negativity and chime in and get angry about it, or have faith. I watched a movie last evening. It was called Amish Grace. uh, I was just on Peacock looking for something interesting to watch, and I stumbled across it. And it's not a new; it's older, but what a magnificent story about faith. It was a really good movie. And if you haven't seen it, I recommend that you check it out because it talks about forgiveness and having that faith, because we need to forgive and we need to understand that people are coming from where they're at, and it's hard to do. It's really hard to do. The premise of the movie was a man went in to the school and the Amish schoolhouse and killed some of the children, and it was how the parents dealt with that and forgiveness and like turning the other cheek and all the things that it says in the Bible. Now, I am not a Bible thumper by any means. I do read the Bible, and I've read it the whole thing. Um, but again, I also believe that it's interpretations written by man, interpreted differently by everyone that reads it. So, message when you get to the part. Thank you for the energy. Oh, you're welcome, Kim. And you know, no need to be sorry, Destiny. Having difficulty hearing in the car. Um, so so yeah, it's being able to turn the other cheek, which is not easy, and that's where that human side of us comes in, and there is a whole lot of that going on right now. It everybody's coming from this angry hatred place, and look what's happening. It's destroying our country, it's destroying our world, but all is in divine order. All, not just when things are good, but when things are challenging, because that's really our true test. Our true test. Are we grounded in that faith? Are we able to weather the storms? Do we trust that our God is greater than the evil? At times it doesn't seem that way, but good always conquers evil. And it may not look the way you expect it to look, but it looks the way it's intended to look. And that's another thing we have a hard time with on our human side. Not just forgiveness of flowing with the way things are going, because we get in this human mind and we start to say, you know, this is how my life is supposed to look. This is how things are supposed to be. Things aren't supposed to change. You know, the banking system is the way it was supposed to be, you know, and now look at where we are with all the electronic payments and being able to do a show like this and get it out there. It Some of that evolution, yeah, it's great, but then you got people that use it for the wrong thing. But that's not our problem. Our concern is to stay in faith, walk in our truth, and not feed it, not feed the negativity. And when I say that, it's like where your attention goes, the energy flows. So if your attention is on the negative, or if you're always going, blah, 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 what's wrong with this and what's wrong with that? Well, guess what? You're feeding into it. You're fueling that negativity. So it's time to fuel the love, the peace, the faith. There's a lot of good in this world still. There really is. I see it every day, because we get back what we put out. And we continue to do that, and it comes back in. I just said today to a client, because I talk a lot about journaling, because it helps clear out and clear out negative energy, work through past problems. Writing is a great tool, but I talked to them about specifically gratitude journals. And gratitude journal is so important, because if we focus on what we're grateful for, guess what? We're going to get more things to be grateful for. So it's all connected. And I know I've spoken about Dr. Bruce Lipton before, and I caught a tidbit of his the other day scrolling through I think it was on Facebook, but I caught his words saying, you change your mind and your thoughts, and it changes your cells, and that's truth. All of that is truth. So it really is so important that we stay grounded and watch where our thoughts are going, watch where our energy goes. It sounds very easy to do. It's easy to say, oh yeah, just change your thoughts. Well, it's not. It takes work, and it takes practice, and that's why journaling comes in. And that's very important. Um, I don't know what just happened there. I just got a blank screen. I don't know if you guys did also, but that's why it's so important to keep a focus on where our thoughts are. So journaling is a great tool. In the morning, I start my day with gratitude, being thankful for another day. I say that before even my feet hit the floor. Um, and always give thanks for the opportunities, the people, the lessons that are going to present in the day. Invite the Holy Spirit in to help you. Invite the angels to surround you and guide you and protect you. And I like to journal. After I do my prayers and I do meditation, I like to sit down with my journal. And my journal has changed over the years because it did start with an emotional dump, a lot of them. Some of them I even burned. Um, and then I started to do two journals, one for dumping and one for gratitude, because I didn't want to commingle those two things. And now my journal is really a journal of gratitude and almost letter writing to God. Um, Even though I do pray and I meditate, and prayer is talking to God, and meditation is listening, like the babies, when they said, if you're very quiet and you go in this silence, you can feel. That's what we do when we meditate. Um, and then I like to really tap into the things that I know that in prayer my prayers are more of thanking as I already received, but I do manifestations, affirmations, those kind of things. So when I write in my journal, I always remind myself that God hears it all. So he knows what my hopes and dreams are, and the guidance that I ask for every day. And, we have to have patience because it doesn't always come as quick as we think it should come. So it's faith, forgiveness, patience. These are the things that we really need to practice. And the forgiveness is really more important for us than those that we forgive. Um, so it's you forgive, you release, and then you bless. I like to do it that way because it really clears it all out completely. It feels a lot lighter for yourself. And when we harbor, resentment or anger and not able to forgive, we really are only hurting ourselves. It's like that saying, you're allowing them to live rent free in your head. And that's truth, because most of the time they don't even give you a second thought. And it's really not so much the person's action, because you open up, you know yourself, you get a better understanding that they are acting upon their own false beliefs, their own lost persona. Because, like I said earlier about, we have to find ourselves, we have to ground in that faith. And when people lash out, it's because they're lost and they're not grounded in faith. I don't know if that says Linnell, I think it says Linnell. Well, hello. Destiny says, cannot believe this. Please say prayers for me. I will definitely say prayers for you. I'm not sure. Pray for me, my peeps. Destiny, I will definitely add you to my prayers for sure. If you want to reach out, you need an email. I'm not sure what's going on. My email address is wellnessmary@gmail.com, or you can go right to my website and schedule a free 20-minute call with me. I'd welcome that. And I do offer that to anyone who's interested in spiritual counseling. I offer that free 20-minute consultation call. It's a lot to get to clear out, especially, well, it's depending on how old you are. You have a lot of years of the human side and thinking the way you've been thinking. And it's not like you just go flip a switch and it's all better. And that's why I said it's a practice, which I continue to do every day. When I make recommendations to clients, it's because I do them and I know that they work. Even on days that I'm very busy, I still, like when I'm on the road and I'm doing a show, sometimes in the mornings before the show, or I got to go set up or whatever the case may be, I still make sure I take the time to say my prayers and I do my meditation. I may not journal as long as I do, but I do a quick check-in on the journal. And then the affirmations and those things I'll do, silently to myself throughout the day, because most of them I have in memory because I do them so much. And then I do change them, because somebody had asked me one time about, how long do I do things? And it changes, because as I start to receive things, I'll change the affirmation list. So that goes right into my journal. And I usually put that on a separate piece of paper and just fold it in there so I can take it out and change it. And my journals last me maybe 6 months. It all depends. They're not real thick, so they about 6 months. So if anybody really is struggling, I do recommend that you contact me, because I'm here to help. This is truly my divine purpose. It took me a while to get here, but I know that this is why I'm here, to help other people and to spread the love and to uplift and, create that ripple effect in the world. And I can't fix everyone, but if I do one person at a time, and they go and it goes and it goes and it goes, that's how we change things, by helping others. So let's see, I got plenty of time. Kim, this is the best year of my life so far. Amazing how things are coming to me. And yes, 2 years of healing work. See, and you can't really thank you for sharing that, Kim. You really can't put a time on it. It's like grief. We can't put a time, because that's a personal thing. We've all been through it differently. So when I start with the consultation for counseling with clients, I can't say, well, in 6 months, you're going to feel so much better, because number one, you're going to get out of it what you put into it. So if you're really ready to make a change and you start to do the work, then things will move faster. But if you're challenged and you're not sure, you haven't hit your so-called bottom, it'll take you longer. So it's a very individual, personalized thing. Your faith, your healing, the work you do, how you go through it. We all are similar, but yet we're all very different in what our traumas are and where we've come from and what we have to do to get to the other side of it all. So that's why you can't put a time on it. And you have to be kind and gentle with yourself and nourish yourself and nurture yourself, because we trip up. We all do. That is just the way life is. We hit a bump in the road. No one ever said that the journey was going to be smooth. We go through smooth areas, but then we get a we hit a bump. But the stronger your faith is, the easier it is to go over the bump. It's like I remember years ago, if the door shut on me, I'd stand there and bang my head against it trying to get it open instead of looking that it was, God saying, time to take a turn because you're not going down the right road. I shut that door for a reason. I didn't see that. But then as my faith got stronger, you kind of let go of the grip. You don't have the grip on the steering wheel so hard, and you allow the divine to flow through your life. And it does work. I'm here to tell you, it really does work if you do the work and if you continue to live by it. You can't do it and then decide to change and go back to old patterns and old behaviors. So remember to take that deep centering breath, and that you are love. You were created from love. Even when you're not loving yourself, you're love. And you are loved. When I first started working with my Reiki master, who was really my spiritual healer, he was one of my many mentors. He had me affirm that. And I had it on Post-it notes all over the place that I am love, I am loved, and I am loving. And those three things, I can't even tell you how many times a day I said it. And a lot of times I didn't even believe it for myself. But that fake it till you make it kind of thing, that works too. So I had to post it everywhere to remind myself that I am love, I am loved, and I am loving. And then as time went on, it became truth for me. I share that with some people I do readings for, sometimes with clients, and I've added to that I forgive, I am forgiveness, and I am forgiven. Because that is a very important one also. Because, I talked about forgiveness. Part of that forgiveness has to be being able to forgive ourselves. We all make mistakes, and we will continue to make mistakes, but that's okay. It's okay. It's learning from the mistakes, recognizing the mistakes, doing things from a loving place. You still can make a mistake. You can make a wrong choice. I've made several. There's like, even with money, for an example, maybe you made the wrong investment. Maybe you put it in the wrong bank or set up the wrong kind of account. We do things like that, but we don't have to beat ourselves up over it. We continue to move forward in that loving, compassionate, kind, understanding way. We can't only have love, compassion, and kindness and understanding for others. We need to give that to ourselves. We need to be able to be kind and compassionate and understanding with ourselves. Because that's where it starts. That saying that you can't pour from an empty pitcher goes along with giving to others and caring about others. You have to do that for yourself. It's like in the airplane, the oxygen, what do? You put it on yourself before you help someone else. So it's not selfish to have self-care. It's not selfish to take care of ourselves. So remember that. And that's why, writing it down, doing that will help clear all those things out of the way. Help to see that you are love. Help you to find what your truth is. Help you to build that faith foundation, that solid groundedness. feels good. It feels really good to be able to take deep cleansing breaths and know who you are and ground yourself in that calm inner peace. So that is about all I have to say. And I got plenty of time to do messages. So I'm going to start with Kim. Okay, Kim, let me see. I'm just gonna hold these cards. All right. Kim, so they're giving me a lot of bright light around you. There's a lot of awareness that you're stepping into. It feels really good. Your energy feels really, really good. And my message today, I feel, was very good for you because there is moments that you get tripped up. And so be mindful of that and really, really remember that you are loved and that you are loved and that you have to have that compassion, that understanding with yourself. There's some great things coming ahead. I feel like there's a big decision coming up for you. If you're not there, if it's not presented already, or you're thinking about it, it is definitely coming. And it's like when you get that gut instinct, follow it, because it definitely is your soul. It's definitely your divine guidance. And it's like, don't allow yourself to go up here and to start to overthink things. Very, very mindful of that. Let's see. All right, I got a divine direction card. So the self-care and that aligning yourself and remembering to continue to do those things and be kind and gentle with yourself kind of goes along with the card I got. I got recharge. Please slow down. It is not selfish to take time out to look after yourself. Now, I can't make that up. I don't know if you can see that. Maybe you can. So, and another thing about, and this is for everyone, but with you, Kim. Another thing is that
we are experiencing technical difficulties. Please stand by as we resolve this issue.
know if you guys can see me. Oh, there I am. I guess my internet just blinked out. So sorry about that. But I was going to say that just remember that we have to take care of ourselves first. It's okay. It's okay. Hi, Robin. It's good to see you. Destiny, I know that you asked for prayers, and I believe you did want a reading. Let's see. Yeah, Destiny. All right. Wow. As soon as I tapped into your energy, I got my head started to hurt. You have to, well, a lot of stress, a lot of stress. You have so much going on around you. Take time to breathe. Know that these moments are happening for you and not to you, which I know is really hard to see at this time. But this is why the tapping into your faith is so important. Wow, girl. the head. I hope that you do contact me, because I feel like we really need to talk. So don't worry. What you're going through is passing. It's passing. It may seem like you're in a negative vortex, that one thing after another is happening, but they're telling me that watch your focus, because you're focusing on all the things that are going wrong instead of what you can learn from them and what the possibilities are for growth. And a card jumped out, and I got to get it because I got to see what it is. So it's animals. Animals are important to you. Animals heal, comfort, and relax. I feel like if you don't have a dog or a cat, you need to get around them, because that's where you're going to find your comfort. That unconditional love, that you get from animals is what you need to bring in for yourself. The love that is got to be that unconditional love for self. And just remember, no matter what it is you're going through, it is all just temporary. It is for your own growth. Like I said, life situations, they present for us. It never happens to us. So be mindful of that, because when things present in a negative way, it is truly for us. It is truly to give us that leveling up, to bring us to the next level. I don't know if anybody else, I hope that helps you, Destiny. Like I said, please reach out to me, either email me directly or go to my website. I don't, I'm not real good with this, trying to stay on track on my topic and follow the chat. So bear with me. I feel like I'm growing though. I'm getting better at this show stuff. Let's see. I did Kim, and Destiny was the only other one. So I guess you're all good. Guess you all are good. So so I hope that you're all good. I really do. And I have my upcoming event this weekend is in Allentown, PA. It's the Mom Festival. Uh, oh, Robin, wonderful messages for all, Mary. Thank you. Thank you for being here. I really appreciate the support. So I have that coming up this weekend. That'll be it for the month of May. I am available, like I said, for free consultation calls. I do offer intuitive readings along with my counseling services. You can also schedule those on my website. Donations on here are always welcomed. Goldylocks has the VIP program, which you get a special show twice a month. I'm not sure what else goes along with that, but if you're interested, you can reach out to Goldylocks and find that out. Next week, I do have a guest. Last week I had Tiffany. I'm not Tiffany. Last week I had Danny, and she was wonderful. If you missed that, go back and look. And I just give me a minute because I want to get Sherry stuff. So Tiffany's mother, Sherry, will be on, and she does Reiki. She does a lot of other things, but she does energy work, and she has a good story to tell also about her journey. I'm really looking forward to having her come on. My goal here is to use the platform to get other people out there to tell their stories, and to help other people. I mean, for me to just sit here. Tiffany goes, Danielle's mother, not mine, giggles. Yeah, well, I have you on my mind, Tiffany. Oh no, I hope my internet isn't going again. But so that is my goal purpose, is to really get knowledge out there and to help people. There's so much going on with nourishment right now, and not just the spiritual nourishment, but our food source, which is something that I am going to, probably the next show that I'm alone, I will touch on some of that stuff and detoxification and things that we can do to help ourselves and stay balanced, because it is nourishing mind, body, and soul. And it's a constant, because we are energy and we're always shifting, always changing. So it's like we don't get in alignment and it stays there, especially the environment toxins that are around. And it is the environment that affects your genes, the epigenetics. So it really is important that we pay attention to our environment. The cleaners that we use, the carpeting in the house. We get bombarded, and it is getting worse with our food source. So that is another show that I'm definitely putting together for when I'm alone, when I don't have a guest. But speaking of, I'm also working on getting together all of the products, because people ask me about what it is that I use, like for my hair care, for my skin care. So I'm working on getting all of that stuff together with links, so I can build a page on my website, so you could go there and get discounts and find where to go. But that's coming. There's a lot of things that go on behind the scenes. And Tiffany and I were talking backstage before the show started about time. And you really, it's like, where does it go? Everything's speeding up so fast. And I said, we're the ones that put the clock on the wall, because time is fluid. But when you're working, especially when you have your own business, and I do it all alone except for Tiffany. Tiffany's help is wonderful. She's helped me with so many things outside of the show too, and I am so truly grateful for her. But it's like, there's a lot of things that I have in the works, but and then I work with clients on a regular basis, so it does get a little bit, you know, I keep myself in balance. I keep myself in check. I always make sure that I schedule that time for myself. I block out time in my calendar for my personal needs, my time with my grandchildren. There is it's called the Circle of Life. No, I think it's the Circle of Life, or the wheel, the wheel of life. You can Google that. I used to use that a lot when I had my practice in Florida for people, because it's like you can look at that circle and put in the things and where your time goes, and you can see how off balanced you are. And when you have a regular job that you go to, that takes a lot of your time. So you better make sure that you're in an industry that you are energetically connected to, and it's not just going for the paycheck. And if you are doing something that you're just going for the paycheck now, then do your due diligence and start to work on yourself to find yourself and shift your ways. So you're welcome, Kim. She said, thanks, all good. So you can start to change and energetically align with the vocation that you should be doing. Because we see, like, all the things that are changing now, we see that it's all of that's changing. People that did go to the office, a lot of people aren't going to the office anymore. A lot of people are starting to work for themselves. There are so many other opportunities out there. The spiritual industry, it is the metaphysical industry, has boomed. I mean, it's unbelievable the amount of people that welcome it and understand it and get it. So, and I do readings for a lot of people, and that's the message, that they're headed that way, that because we all have gifts. It's tapping into them and learning how to use them for the highest best of humanity and others. That's what we've got to connect and bring ourselves to the wholeness of life, and not, I'm going to step on that person to get to the top. That mentality, that's got to go, because that does not do anything but corrupt and break down the beautiful creation and the beautiful beings that we were put here to be. We were created in love. We are love. Remember that. You are love. You are loved, and you are loving. Don't ever forget that, and don't ever let anyone take that away from you, because that is truly who you are. So really getting, like I said earlier, getting to clear out the crap, the false program beliefs, get into that faith, get that better understanding of who we are. Then we begin to flourish. And then we begin to step into our soul purpose, the true passion, our true reason for being here. And it really is to love one another. It's simple as that. And it doesn't mean only love the ones that think the way you do. It's love one another, no matter what. You can love and bless somebody, not have to have them in your life. Let them be. You do you, they do them. It's that easy. That's easy. We don't judge. It's not our place to judge. When they leave this life, that's where that comes in. It's not our job to judge. It's our job to love, to create more love, to spread that love out there and let it go, and just begin to create that ripple effect that this world so greatly needs. And it's like, the Beatles had it right. All we need is love. You know, it's like I kind of feel like I'm a hippie soul, you know, and that's what life is about. You know, I feel we're going to end up getting back into more of that communal living, that bartering, you know, oh, you're growing the corn, I got the lettuce. That kind of life. That would be pretty cool. I think that we're going to see more and more communities like that. Unfortunately, though, I have been given that there are going to be some rough roads coming in the next 6 months or so. A lot of disruption, not on the collective level. So that's why ground yourself in your faith now, because it'll help you. It'll help you. And remember that it is not within you. That stuff is without. It's on the outside. It's not within you, only if you welcome it in. And none of us want to welcome that in. We want to keep that faith. We want to keep that love. We want to be in our spiritual beings as much as we can be. Surround yourself with positive people, and continue to watch Goldylocks shows. That all the other show hosts are great. They have wonderful gifts. They share beautiful messages. I do get on. If I don't get on, I do listen to the recorded shows. A lot of times I get on and I might say hi, but sometimes I don't, because I watch on my TV, so I can't really get into the chat. But I just want you all to know I'm out there. I know what you're doing. So I'm going to pull one more card. Oh, I love it. I want this for everybody. It's family. Family is everything. Reconnect with them, or tell them you love them. And family isn't just blood. So remember that. I'm your family. Robin's your family. Goldylocks is your family. And we all love you. And if, like I said, if you want to chat with me, you can go to my website, schedule that consultation, or you can just shoot me an email, wellnessmary@gmail.com. And again, I welcome any donations to help me keep going. I wish you many blessings and much peace. Thank you.